Hello, hello, and welcome to theMillyLife. My name is Danielle. I am the owner of theMillyLife and theMillyLife YouTube channel. I am so excited that you're here. Today, we've got a really exciting video for you. If you have not yet subscribed, please make sure to click on that red subscribe button. I post new motorcycle videos every Thursday and new exercise videos every Friday. Click that little bell so you don't miss out. Today, we are talking about how to ride with a passenger. So let's go. We're going to talk about 3 steps. 1, before you ride, as the passenger, as the motorcyclist. Vroom, vroom. Okay, first and foremost, let's talk about before you ride. You want to feel comfortable on your motorcycle, know how to operate your motorcycle, know how to operate at slow speeds in different situations on the highway, back roads, parking lots, and be comfortable before you take a passenger out. I know when you get your motorcycle's license, it is super, super exciting and you want to show all your friends and your family and tour them around, but that's not the time to show off. That's the time to get to learn your bike, get to learn your vehicle, and then take a passenger on board. Because when you take a passenger on board, you're taking not only your life, but their life in your hands. So they're trusting you and you want to come through on that. Know how to work that motorcycle, keep your passenger safe, keep yourself safe, first and foremost. Secondly, we want to check our tire pressure. So for the 2019 Fat Bob 114, tire pressure normally wants to be front tire at 36 PSI, rear tire at 40 PSI. When you're riding with a passenger, you're going to want to increase the PSI of that back tire to 41. You can also refer to your owner's manual, if you don't ride a Fat Bob, to see what that will be. This is going to help carry that extra load better. It's going to help your handling. It's going to prevent the bike from bottoming out. And what's also going to help with that is adjusting your suspension. That's one of the things I love about the Fat Bob, that I can easily do this right here. So you've got 1 to 5. 5 increases the suspension to the highest level, 1 to the lowest. All right, you can refer to your owner's manual, and I'll put up a nice little chart that I found online for adjusting your suspension with a passenger. For my riders that weigh below 160, this chart only references 160 and above, but using common sense, you're gonna be at a 1. And then adjust accordingly based on the weight of your passenger. And you guys will see what I'm talking about up on the screen. So you want to take a moment and reflect, make sure you know how to operate your vehicle, feeling confident in your riding skills before riding with a passenger. You want to adjust your tire pressure and you want to adjust your suspension accordingly. The last thing you want to do before you ride is make sure you have your passenger pegs out. All right, these are mine right here. 11 passenger, I can fold them up. You can see they got a little bit scuffed here from one of my drops. And then a sissy bar. That's not required, but how I first got into motorcycles was riding with Matt as a passenger, and I will tell you that you feel a lot more secure having a sissy bar back there. Right now mine doesn't have the pad on it, it just is used to carry a bag, but having a padded sissy bar is really, really nice for your passenger. They feel way more secure, but at a minimum, having the passenger pegs. Let's go to the next section. Hello. Thank you. You're the best. Say hi.
Hi.
You throw a peace sign? Yeah.
Come on, Mom. Then you gotta go.
Okay, you gotta go. What sound does the motorcycle make? Passenger. Now you probably thought you're going out for a nice ride with the motorcyclist, and what responsibilities do you have? Good news, you don't have many, but here's some things you can do to help your motorcyclist out. First and foremost, don't get on the back of the motorcycle intoxicated. Subtle movements back here, your motorcyclist really isn't going to feel when they're moving. But crazy movements, dancing all over the place, hitting them, all that stuff, all right? I trust that you're not going to do that. Secondly, you want to hold on to the bike. Here are two options for holding onto the bike. You can squeeze the bike with the legs, right? Holding onto the seat, holding onto the motorcyclist, or you can hold onto their waist, okay? When your motorcyclist slows down, they have the handlebars to kind of help slow them down. You don't really have a whole lot of anything back here. So holding on with your legs, holding on with your arms is going to prevent you guys from bumping heads with the helmets. Lastly, and this is probably the most important step, so pay attention here, make sure before you get on the motorcycle that your motorcyclist is ready for you to get on. And that means they know you're getting on and their feet are planted firmly on the ground. If you guys have helmet-to-helmet communication like the Senna, this is a great time to be like, hey, are you ready? When they give you the yes, let them know that you're about to get onto the bike and you want to get on from the left side. All right, this is kind of weird being back here. This is the first time I've actually sat in my passenger seat. Pretty comfortable. So passenger, let's recap. Don't get on the back of your motorcyclist bike drunk or intoxicated, all right? Subtle movements are fine, but don't be moving like a crazy person back here, okay? Especially at slow speeds. That's when your motorcyclist is going to feel you the most. Hold on to what you can. Squeeze the bike with your legs or give your motorcyclist a nice big hug in front of you. I'm sure they'll appreciate that. Lastly, let your motorcyclist know when you are getting onto the bike and make sure that they're ready, okay? And have a blast. This is how I got into riding, and I hope you love it as much as I did. All right, guys, so the last and the final piece here are some tips for the motorcyclist once you guys get moving. And then I'm gonna show you guys my first ride with a passenger, with Matt. You don't wanna miss this, so that'll be at the end, and then we'll wrap up with some final thoughts. So tips for the motorcyclist. Give yourself some more space and more time for stopping, pulling out into traffic, accelerating, okay? All of those things are going to feel just a little bit different with having a passenger on the back. If you have more of a sport bike, a lighter bike, you may feel a passenger way more significantly rather than those who have bigger, more touring style bikes. When I ride on Matt's bike, and he has a Harley Davidson Lowrider S, he says the only time he feels me back there is when I'm getting on. Regardless, give yourself some more space to maneuver. Moving fast or moving in general is going to be your friend. When you get down into slower speeds, that's where you really need to harness and use those skills. I have a great training video that I learned from MC Rider, fantastic YouTube page for safety, training tips, all things motorcycles. I'll link my video up there. But getting comfortable on slow speeds on your bike, that is probably one of the hardest times to maneuver your bike. And then you add a passenger, you want to make sure that those skills are pretty fresh and feeling good. So being aware of that, and then being aware of where you are stopping the bike. Are you parking on an incline? Are you parking in gravel? Try to find areas where to park that are flat, don't have gravel, are easier to get out of, especially with having a passenger. And those are things that I do anyways, because I've found myself in plenty of predicaments where I'm on an incline and in gravel, and Matt is having to push me out of the spot. And the last and final piece, this isn't the time to show off, right? Be a little bit more conservative when you have a passenger on your bike. And yeah, let me know how it goes. I want to hear from you guys. I love hearing from everyone on the channel. I want to hear about your experience riding with a passenger. Are you solely a solo rider, or do you frequently ride with a passenger? How does it go? Do you have any other tips and tricks that I'm missing here that I would love for you to add to what we've got here on this video, and expand our knowledge base on riding 2 up. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. You're gonna want to see this next clip. Here we go.
This is Matt. You guys have seen him before in quite a few videos now, especially the oil change. If you missed that one, it's not only a good video on how to do the oil, especially when you're changing the initial filter, but there's a lot of laughs in there as well. So today we're going to be going for my first passenger ride, and Matt has volunteered to be my passenger. Yeah, so we're gonna leave the bike off, and we're gonna practice having a passenger get on the bike and seeing what that feels like. So I'm gonna turn on my front, or not turn on, I'm gonna squeeze my front brake. Kickstand's gonna be up. This seat is hotter than hell. Holy crap. My feet are flat. I've got the front brake pulled in. I'm ready for you to get on.
I'll put my hand here, hand on the sissy bar. My foot is on the peg.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say mountain.
Okay.
And you say okay. And I'm gonna step up.
Oh my gosh.
Just sit down.
That's a really weird feeling.
It is, right?
Yeah. Okay, that's gotta be the weirdest part.
Yeah, I don't know how to get off. I don't know how to get off.
It's weird, right?
Long legs with you, so.
Yeah. Alright, so front brake is engaged. My feet are planted flat. I would even go wider with your feet.
And I think that's the learning experience.
Yep.
Because now, honestly, I could weigh 230 pounds, right? And if your base is wide enough, you can hold the bike up.
Yeah.
Okay?
Alright, so he's gonna hop on here.
You ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Go ahead and get on. You'll notice he's getting on from the left.
Avoid the exhaust.
Yep, he's got his feet on the passenger bed. Alright, and we're on. Alright, let's try that one more time. Go ahead and get off, please. You can do like the can kind of motion on the bike.
Okay, I kind of did this. I did this.
Oh, okay, I like it.
Let me show that again.
Yeah, show that for the folks at home one more time. Matt is one of the best dancers I know. You can find him on Matt Dances.
Yeah, great.
Be the next big YouTube sensation. Yes, please. Front brakes in. I'm going to plant my feet. As they're getting on, you definitely, this is just going off of what I'm feeling, you definitely want to brace more on this side as they're loading and then shift your weight kind of back more to the center as they get on. There you go. Go ahead, love. Yeah.
My voice is only going in your video.
I don't know. We're going to have to find out. You're not messing up my videos. I can edit all the things I want. Yep, I'm ready. Thanks for asking.
It is, and right, and I'm going to tell you this, from my experience,
Yeah.
this initial mounting is the hardest fucking part.
I'm going to turn the bike on now.
Yep.
All right. How are you feeling back there?
Nervous, but okay, that's all right. Well, I'm going to say this. I've never ridden on the back of a motorcycle. I can't tell you the last time I rode on the back of a motorcycle. Especially a big Harley. So, I'm glad it's the person I love more than anything in the world.
Oh, me too.
Are you comfortable here with me?
Yeah, I want your hands on my waist.
Right.
Yeah.
This is here because of that, right?
Yeah, I mean, seriously, guys, this does make a difference. When he puts his hands up top, it feels way more top heavy. And when it's down on my waist, I feel more secure. This is so crazy. Okay. Don't move back there. All right, here we go, guys. I'm gonna roll onto the crutch. Huh. Interesting. Yeah. How do you feel back there?
I don't want you to go too slow and get it sideways.
Yeah. Are you feeling kind of?
Great. I feel safe.
Okay, good.
Hey, how easy is it?
It's not bad. It's not. The getting on was the hardest, babe. What are you doing back there? Yeah.
I feel like I need to like we're losing force momentum.
Yeah, we are, but I need you to stay still.
Yeah.
This is actually a great example, right? Like, there's anxiety on the back, there's anxiety in the front. Like, because you're used to being in control of the bike. This has got to be so weird. I would highly recommend going to a parking lot before you get on a bike with a passenger. I would not just go out on the road. I mean, it feels fine now that I'm moving and I don't really feel him back there. Like, I feel his hands on my waist, but that's about it. So we're gonna come back through and work on some stopping. Well, and that's gonna be a dynamic to consider too, that you have the heavier person of the two on the back, right? If you're heavier on the front, it's gonna feel different too. Right, so we're gonna straighten out the handlebars here. We're gonna come to a stop, lots of rear brake, and here we go. That feels weird. Yeah.
There's a moment of having to balance, right?
Yep. You're like the parent slamming the brake pedal.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to.
No. Yeah. My ponytail in your hair, in your face. It's also something to think about. You know what? I would definitely, if you're riding a passenger again, I would practice in the parking lot. I don't feel ready to go out on the road yet. And I can feel Matt's hand pushing my right hip forward when we're turning. It's okay. This is all really good stuff, right? Like, these are things you may experience with the passenger. They may be squeezing the living hell out of you, and that's okay. Like, this is something you want to practice. Yeah. It's like, have you ever used a weighted vest at a gym, or even just like lifted weights at the gym? It feels like putting the weights down. Oh my gosh, that was a workout. That was cool. So this is Matt's Lowrider S. This is kind of be kind of cool to see the difference between riding with him on the back of my bike versus riding on the back of his bike, because I've ridden on the back of his bike plenty, and he says the only time he feels me back there is when I get on. All right, sir, the chariot is pulling up. Yes.
Oh my God.
Sir, that was aggressive.
I don't know how to explain what I'm doing.
So this is as much of a learning experience for the passenger as it is for the driver. All I can say is when they get on, you need to brace. Like, you have to be the rock. Are you ready, sir?
Yes.
Okay, let's see how this bad boy feels. I like riding your bike solo. I like riding my bike better with you. I don't feel as comfortable with having a passenger on this. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
So besides it being hotter than the Dickens, that was an experience.
That was fun, yeah.
Yeah, definitely fun. Do I feel ready to go out on the road with a passenger? No. Not yet. All right. I feel like, at least for me, I need to walk through the same experience I did of learning how to ride my bike by myself with a passenger. So that means starting in parking lots, then going like small little trips on, you know, not as busy roads, and just gradually working my way up. I don't think that's something that you should take lightly, because it is. It's like walking around with a weighted vest, honestly. How did you feel?
It was a little nerve-wracking at first. It just takes getting used to those slow speed turns. Going fast is easy, so.
Yeah, well, and being a motorcyclist too, it was,
yeah,
you could tell that you were like wanting to turn the bike.
Yeah, I was like grabbing and leaning when I'd give it more throttle or more clutch out or more re-brake. I'm like playing the video game as a kid, turning the controller to turn.
Being aware of your passenger's comfort level, and even if they're experienced motorcyclists, there's going to be things there that they're not comfortable with that you may not even think about. So I would definitely highly recommend practicing quite a bit before you go out with a passenger, having a really acquainted conversation with the passenger about their comfort level before you guys get on, and then having in-helmet communication. That was a huge help, to be able to know what he's doing back there, know how he's feeling back there, but also for him to communicate to me too. So yeah, pretty fun. Love you. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you have not yet subscribed, please make sure to hit that red subscribe button. I'm Danielle. This is the Millie Life. I will see you guys real soon.